Yeah, it certainly is a crime. The people are in the battle. I thought quite took Friday off, Thursday and Friday actually, um, having a shortness of breath issue. So, given the fact that my good buddy Herman Cain had his issues and with coronavirus and passed away, I said, Charles, you better get your butt in there and find out what the hell's going on. It's not like you're getting any younger. So I went to the doctor, and they told me that they thought I had touch of pneumonia, which made sense. Took some x-rays. So I'm going to try to do the show today. Don't know how long I'm going to last, but I'm going to try to do the show today and pick up on. Oh, all right, here we go. Sorry about that. I'm going to try to do the show today. I was trying to tell you that it's picking up on. I had a shortness of breath issue Thursday. I've been battling it for about 2 months. And yeah, I know, stupid, right? I get it. As one lady said to me, she said, Charles, you got to get a wife to bug you to go get these things done. That's what we do. She's a good friend, good woman, great wife, good friend of mine, Sherry. And it's great to have her in my life. I tell you, she's God sent, just a wonderful person. And she's raised a great family, she and her husband. And look, so anyway, went to the doctor. And I tell you, it was a little scary, and, I had to get some things together because I had, my primary care physician had left the University of Chicago and moved on, and I really didn't know that had happened. So next thing you know, so now I want to go see a doctor, right? And it's Thursday. Well, actually Wednesday. And I've been hearing about this urgent care, immediate care, instead of emergency care. Maybe you guys have heard of it. And it's not emergency care where you walk into and it's a zoo and everybody's there, people with insurance, people without insurance trying to make some things happen. This is it's called immediate care. And you walk in this little clinic and they have these nurse practitioners there. And my nurse practitioners were so good at North Shore. Excuse me. I highly recommend. If you're wondering why I'm not going to take any cough syrup, I got some cough drops. Let me grab these cough drops. But I had taken some cough syrup earlier, and I due for another 2 hours to drop some more. But it's been interesting. And I wanted to come on today because I wanted to talk a little bit about Joe Biden and this VP pick. People aren't stupid. People aren't stupid. As I was sharing with my good buddy Michael Steele earlier today, Biden's had 48 years to generate some kind of track record. And he's talking about made in America, by America. We're gonna have manufacturing. He's lying. Everybody knows he's lying. He has no clue how to make America great again, how to, eliminate these horrible, horrible trade deals we were in and Trump got us out of. But Trump said that. He said, hey, if you elect me, my guys will negotiate trade deals that are fair to the American people and will work for you. Elect me. I'll show you. Just like he said to black folks, elect me. I'll show you what I'll do for you. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to show you what I'll do for you. So, this is the thing, though, that has a lot of black folks upset. Nobody's talking about. Donald Trump has delivered for black folks. Now, when I hear black folks say, well, he's racist, he's this, and I ask them, hey, give me an example. Of course they can. Except, the talking points. Oh, Charlottesville. Oh, he said there were good people on both sides. Well, they were. That means he didn't call and he certainly said that the white supremacists were not good people. He said that. So he was talking about the other people who weren't necessarily white supremacists, but they supported the Confederacy. I know plenty of them. So then you get people like April Ryan. April Ryan, who before she started attacking President Trump because he called on her, and she was attacking vehemently for the AURN, American Urban Radio Network. And she was, barely getting a paycheck every week, right? All of a sudden, this chick is hired by CNN because, Trump has given her, this access in the press meetings. He's calling April. Hey, April. She's one of the few black correspondents there. So this is in the paper today that I picked up. And I was so disheartened because they don't get it. I mean, people like April Ryan. If April Ryan doesn't get it, how do you expect other people, black people anyway, to vote what's best for them? So April says, here we go. Hillary Clinton, Maxine Waters, and James Clyburn. You probably ask why I started laughing. Because these are people that are totally whack. Hillary Clinton, Maxine Waters, Jim Clyburn, who will die in office. I'm Jim Clyburn. I'm just going to die in office because I'm a good Negro and it's the best job I ever had. I'm going to die right here. This country ass. These black politicians, man, they need to be taken out and whipped like John Lewis. And they say don't speak ill of the dead. I'm just telling the truth. I'm not trying to speak ill of anyone. So, what are we going to say here? So, have also recently expressed concern that Trump will refuse to leave the White House if he loses the election, with many prominent liberals claiming that Trump's rhetoric dismissing mail-in ballots is the foundation for the theory. Well, what was the theory last time? What was the theory in 2016 when these same people said the same thing? Was their theory then the mail-in ballots was the foundation for Donald Trump not winning? They said, well, Donald, are you going to accept the election, the results of the election? Because he just knew Hillary had it, right? Are you going to accept the results of the election? Donald said, I don't know. We'll see. He didn't pay himself into a corner. I don't know. We'll see. Bam. So now he's not going to leave them. They've been saying that since the man was elected. They started saying that right after he was elected. He's not going to leave the White House. Once he gets in, we'll have to send troops in to pull him out. Based on what? We know that Hillary Clinton is a liar. We know that Hillary Clinton is dishonest. We know that Maxine Waters is a moron. And Jim Clyburn is pathetic. If you want a classic example of a modern day Sambo, Jim Clyburn is that picture. So, White House press secretary Kayleigh McQuarrie told the outnumbered audience last month that she found it comical that top Democrats will have suggested that the president may not leave office if he loses his bid for reelection in November. It is comical. Let me say this about this president. This is a president who lost money coming into office. Barack Obama, he didn't donate his salary. Okay. Trump donates his entire salary. And what you don't understand is he still has to pay for the food that they eat at the White House. He pays for that out of pocket. We don't pay for that. He pays for that. Barack Obama paid for that. But they were making $450, He was making $450. Don't know how much Michelle was making, if anything. So Kaylee tickled me. She said, it's quite comical to watch the Democrat Party talk about not accepting the results of the election, because the only people who haven't accepted the results of the election are people in the Democratic Party, like Hillary Clinton, who blames her loss on, I think it was something like 24 different entities, and never blaming herself. She said, well, the Russians stole the election from me. Oh, the white men stole the election from me. Oh, men wouldn't vote for me because I'm a woman. No, they didn't vote for you, Hillary, because you're a crook. Because you fainted, damn near fell down, getting in the car, and then you wouldn't tell us what was wrong with you. We're not stupid. Because you and Bill continue to have a front of a marriage instead of, calling it what it is. When Bill gave the eulogy, John Young's, he spoke at John Young's funeral, I should say. He spoke at John Young's funeral. He said he was there by himself. Hillary wasn't there with him. At least she didn't come to the funeral with him. She didn't go to the cemetery with him. So, they're married in name, but they live separate lives. I remember about 4 or 5 years ago, longer than that now. This is about a year before Hillary started running. She and Bill hosted a segment of a New Year's Eve show. They were both there hosting a segment in New York. And so they walk in out of the cold, and Bill stands and he tries to, hug Hillary. And she pushed him to the side and kept walking. Serious man, cold chick. But they live a lie, and that's fine. Fox News host Harris Faulkner, the black lady on the on Outnumbered, she pointed out that Trump had told her in recent interviews that he would leave office in January 2020 if the election doesn't go his way, saying, certainly, if I don't win, I don't win. I mean, this is a guy who has a life. He has money. Here's a guy who when he became president, took a smaller airplane. Okay? He had his own damn airplane. Trump painted on top of it. And I kept trying to tell people, hey, man, it costs more than $450 to fill that bad boy up and go cross country. Okay? And when I say $450, to about $450,000, that's the president's salary. So the theory is nothing new that these Democrats are pushing forth, that somehow Trump won't leave office. He's a dictator. He's Mussolini. That's what I just heard Jim Clyburn say, that Trump is Mussolini and Putin is Hitler. Well, let me say this. And the Democrats all put together, they're like Stalin. They've killed lots of people, their own people, very quietly. We're going to talk a little bit about this violence going on here in Chicago. I always find it interesting that people try to tell us what's going on here in Chicago, and they never lived here. I looked at these 5 chicks on Fox. 5 chicks, one dude, trying to talk about violence in Chicago. They don't know a damn thing about Chicago. They know nothing about how Chicago works. They know nothing about the gangs. They know nothing about the police. They know nothing about the policing in the Black community, because the policing in the Black community is a joke, has been a joke since the 60s. When drugs became prevalent, and the beat cop realized he could make $200 or $300 on the side, just taking, 20 from this guy, 30 from this guy, 50 from this guy every week. No taxes, no overtime. So let me just say that policing in the Black community is so different than the white community. These white people they don't even know what's going on. They have no idea. And that's the thing that we deal with here in America. We have people on TV study talking about racism, study talking about race and what's racist and what's not. And what I have to say to any of these pundits, any of these white pundits, any of these people who think they know about racism, they know what racism is, they can identify racism. This is all I have to say to them. Have you ever been called the N-word? And the answer from all of them would probably be no. And if I were called it, it wouldn't have any significance, because I'm a white person. But they don't get it. The real meaning of the word is a character issue. It's called character. But we've allowed these white people to put that word in the book, in the dictionaries, referring to a Black person. I think if I had read that when I was growing up as a kid, it would have devastated me. But my mother used to say when I was called the N-word at school, go to the dictionary and look it up. It's not in there. And it wasn't. It talked about a person of poor character, like Steve McQueen, who was often referred to as having a niggardly character. So at first, when I first read it, I didn't think they were calling him a Black guy. I thought that they were talking about his character. He was surly and, a little despicable, a little hostile, a little whatever. I love Steve McQueen, my kind of guy. But we have all these people on television trying to tell us about racism, trying to tell us about guns in Chicago, the killing in Chicago. The only thing that's going to stop the killing in Chicago is for people to arm themselves and shoot back. And I mean, when you hear a pop, you come out of the house with your shotgun and you blast away. Yeah, you see, I'm, sucking for breath here. It's a little difficult, but, we got to pace and kind of work through it. Now, the president, this dude, he's always getting himself in trouble. There was a Black doctor. She was in Africa. And I don't know if she was in Africa, but she was definitely an African. And she started talking about the coronavirus and the hydrocortisone and zinc and how it worked. And then she started talking about alien DNA and homosexual sex. And man, because see, Black people don't play that homosexual thing. We don't play it. That's the epitome of sin to black folks. White folks, oh, well, it's just sex. Sex is just sex. What's wrong with the person having sex any way they want? I mean, after all, they're it's their body. They're free to do it, do whatever they want. So are they? We have laws against having sex with animals. It's called bestiality. Doesn't mean that people don't do it, because I know people who do. I know women who have sex with their dogs. Yeah. And I know guys that have sex with their pigs or lambs. Yeah. Bestiality. And everybody has an excuse. And everyone has a reason. Amazing. Wow. The football season is going to take off. I was watching the basketball season as it opened last week. Had some great games. Got a chance to see LeBron. Got a chance to see Kylie. Got a chance to see Odell Beckham. Got a chance to see the guy who plays for the Clippers. He's playing for Toronto. Can't come up with Leonard. Leonard, man, he is something. He is the real deal. But April Ryan said she wants to see the troops pull Trump out of the White House. Really? Do you think that's going to happen? But he was asked, President Trump was asked what he thought of this doctor. He said, well, she was surrounded by the doctors, and I like what she had to say. I don't know what else you want me to say. What they wanted him to say was the comment on the voodoo stuff. She's talking about the what was it? It was the DNA. Yeah, the alien DNA. Man, I was cracking up. I was cracking up. It had my attention. What can you say, right? The alien DNA. Woo! Doo-doo-doo-doo. It takes all types. I guess. But there I was, Eric Hampton, still a wine, but still a wine. But you just can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make it up. April Ryan said she could not wait. She could not wait to see President Trump forcefully removed from the White House by police and armed forces. Where did she come up with that? Here's a woman who, like I said, was barely getting the payday. And then the president started calling on to give her a little publicity. And CNN hires her away from AURN. Hey, and all of a sudden, she's making some money and talking trash. April, be grateful. President made you, baby. President made you. I want to kind of I saw a picture the other day of Nancy Pelosi's district. I know exactly where her district is in San Francisco. It's hard. It's horrible. The conditions are horrible. They're third world at best. Third world doesn't get it. She doesn't get that H-1B visas take jobs from Americans, take jobs away from her people. So you bring an Indian over here, you pay him 40 grand, Whereas an American engineer, you'd have to pay 80 or 100. And then they come over and they stay 4, 5, 6 families to a house, put pressures on neighborhoods, put pressure on sewage systems. You just basically break your city down, kind of like by. see, most of you have never really traveled, gotten out of the country. But once you get out of this country, Canada, parts of Europe, the big cities of Joburg, man, you're in a different world. You're in the third world. And what that means is no toilets, no street lights, no law in some cases. They even have that in Paris, man, right outside of the city. Because, we here in America, we, after World War II, we put everybody in the burbs. Government came in, forced all the white people to the burbs, kept the black people in the inner city. If you don't believe me, there's a great book out. And the name of that book is called, something law. I'll come up with it here in a minute. By Ruberstein. I'll come up with it in a minute. But it's a book called The Law of Something. It's on housing and the Housing Act. I'll come up with it. Housing Act. Anyway, but that's what happened. We forced all the white people to the burbs and left black folks in the inner city with the decay and the crime and the drugs, mucho drugs. So where was I going with that? That's the other thing, taking this medicine, man, you get a little disoriented because it's, you don't get any sleep, it's just horrible. But at least I know I don't have coronavirus 19 and I don't have pneumonia, thank God. So I guess those are two things I can be thankful for in this whole ordeal. But it's been an ordeal. So I just can't remember where I was going with that the housing piece. But it is important because you have kids today who are coming into the city from the burbs and burning and looting and retreating back to the burbs. And people are starting to talk about it. These guys aren't even from here. Why are they here burning our stuff up? In fact, the only NAACP chapter to speak about the lawlessness in these cities, it's been the guy from Portland, president of Portland chapter. He said, these are anarchists. These aren't protesters. They're not peaceful protesters. As I said time and time again, what's peaceful about them? There's nothing peaceful about the people who broke into McCloskey's gated community. They broke in a gated community. What's peaceful about that? Shouting at the people. And you had one video of a guy had 2 magazines, clips of ammo, not magazines that you read, clips of ammo, and beating him on his cheek. And his wife, McCloskey's wife, she had a gun pointed at them. But the problem I had with that was the dumb chick had her finger on the trigger. What if she tripped and fell, discharged the weapon? What if she'd accidentally discharged the weapon? She handled that gun like someone who'd never handled a gun before. That's what I saw. That's why you always have to drill and prepare and be ready and follow a regimentation so that when you're in those situations, it becomes second nature. I'm not going to put my finger on the trigger unless I intend to shoot. That's it. Still trying to find the name of that book. Oh, The Law of the Land. I think that's what the book was called. The Law of the Land. And this book, The Law of the Land, lays out the housing policies. The Law of the Land. The housing policies taken by the federal government, which created the disparity in housing that we have today. Now, what is generally is people money tied up in? What is their biggest asset? Color of Law. That's it. That's the name of the book. The Color of Law. It details how the U.S. housing policies created the color of law. Segregation. Wow, that's deep, huh? See, you never think about the government would purposely do that. Are we a country that is racist? That's why I would love to have a show countering Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham, Mark Levin. Some things I agree with them on adamantly, but I'm finding myself more times than not disagreeing with them because they only have half the picture. And Tucker doesn't even have half the picture sometimes. He's just talking, being the privileged white guy he is. So, but this book, The Color of Law, was written by a man named Richard Rothstein. Richard Rothstein. And it's a book that's mandatory for reading in law school now, from what I understand. So think about it. Check it out. Man, 20 more minutes. The way I'm feeling could be an eternity. And that's because it's such an effort to breathe and to talk. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of things I could talk about. Like Joe Biden's running mate. So we get Geraldine Filioni as William Mondale's VP. Mondale gets his ass kicked. I mean, all up and down the street. Geraldine Ferrar, nice lady, but presidential material? No. I don't see any woman in Congress today, black, white, Mexican, African, who would be a good president if something would happen to the real president. I didn't see Joe Biden being a good candidate for Obama, but it got him out of that Senate seat that he had for 30 years. Man, that dude, he had a sweet ride. So, Joe Biden picking a candidate for VP. Put it off till next week. Tell us we know August 1st. Hey, Joe, what's the big deal? If you pick Pocahontas, you got a problem. You pick Tammy, what's Tammy's last name? Anyway, Tammy's helo pilot in South Africa, lots of things. So anyway, So you get Tammy. No. No. Barbara Walters. Ding, 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 ding. That'll play. I mean, Barbara Lewis out of California. Camila Harris. No. Too much mouth, too many negatives. Camilla has a lot of negatives with her that will come out. She's not the clean and vibrant candidate you think you would have initially. She used to date Willie Brown. So, yeah, I just put it out like that. Okay. She's too funny though. So it's fun. It's gonna be Biden's running mate, Pocahontas. Yeah, probably. But too many negatives. She said she would too. She's like, I would be Joe's VP of West. He's not stupid. Joe, shut up. Shut up and tell Trump this. You know, he'd always be second guessed by Camilla or what's his name? Her name, Pocahontas. You know, you got there are 13 women supposedly in the running. And those 13 women, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are white. And the plot thickens. The plot thickens. So we'll take a minute. We're going to run through a couple of them because the best known candidates are Liz Warren, Camilla Harris. They remain strong contenders, but neither one of them would really be a contender as Joe Biden's VP because they would overshadow him. They talk faster than he does. They have more energy than he does. They're clearer on their ideas than he is. So why would you have a VP who overshadows you from the get-go? Hello. Besides, she'd be the first woman VP, and a whole bunch of attention and perks go with that. And you and what's his name? Little Hunter. You and Hunter would just be coming under the indictment process challenges. It's easy to forget when you're not looking at it. So that next level candidate for the VP is Susan Rice. Big failure. Bill Clinton said his biggest failure is not going to the AIDS of the Nigerians. That's what Bill Clinton said. And he also described this young man. He's carried a football for the president. He described landing on a ship one day and thinking, man, if I get hit in the lips, I would have been messed up. Yeah. Hey, how you doing, man? So you got Susan Rice, Miss Benghazi. You got Karen Bass, wild woman out of California. She's getting a big boost from her colleagues in the House. And you got Tammy Duckworth of Illinois. She's an Iraqi war vet, lost both her legs. Is that a sympathy vote? Or is that a real vote? I mean, Tammy Duckworth is president. I mean, I've helped this chick on Veterans Day at different events. And I've talked to her on my show. Amazing. Anyway, they also said among those candidates are some former regime, some former prospects here. And they say it gets tricky after Tammy Duckworth because nobody really knows these other people, and they don't know if there's any chemistry. So you have Kamala Harris. Uh, how is she seriously being vetted? Well, she's running for president. How vetted do you want to make her? Signatures issue. Okay. Yeah. And the thing is, when she talks about building these state institutions to warehouse these criminals, first thing use it. So I was getting ready to see, my mind was like, getting ready to pull a clip, but there's no clip to pull. But that was that virus, man. It's rough. So that's Camilla. Then you got Liz Warren, Pocahontas. Pocahontas made her name, her reputation on selling herself as an Indian. Amazing. Signature issues. Her signature issues are, well, Trump banned those deep insurgent visits to factories. They stay pretty much on the coast. Mm-hmm. Then signature issues. She pushed real hard to strip the names from Confederate generals from military bases. So she's always in the middle of something. Liz Warren, and she have her relationship with Biden is considered mutually respectful, and that's what Joe Biden is. He's cool. I mean, Joe's cool. He's a player. There's no question. He had a beautiful suit the day that I saw him. God, he's beautiful. Anyway, Tammy Duckworth. Says Obama issues his first slate of 2020 endorsements, and she was at the head of the list. So how seriously is she being vetted? Very seriously. She was asked to submit papers for vetting. Her relationship with Biden, she's never really had an opportunity to get close to Biden because she took over from Mark Hurt. She unseated Mark Hurt and introduced Biden's late son, Beau, as a speaker at the 2008 Democratic National Convention. Now, Duckworth's personal story should be a powerful one, but she would be the first veteran on a national ticket since John McCain, and the first female veteran ever. She is a less prominent voice on some of the issues most central to the campaign, like policing and the economy. In fact, she very much supported who? She said, on being considered for vice president, I can push back against Trump's in every others, in a way others can't. I don't know what she meant by that. She talked about losing her legs. Trump can get real nasty about that. Talk about how you like winners. Boy, something else. Susan Rice. Susan Rice. Miss Benghazi. That's not going anywhere. Very seriously, they're vetting her. And I have no idea why. Because she's Miss Benghazi. She brokered these horrible deals, including the Iran nuclear deal and the Paris climate change agreement, and recently called for statehood for DC. Her relationship with Biden, they served in the Obama administration for 8 years together. And they have a relationship that goes back to the 90s. I'd just like to add this to Ms. Rice's resume. She was Assistant Secretary of State for Africa. She advised the President of the United States on Africa and the U.S. So when all the killing jumped off over there in, when all the killing jumped up in, trying to think, Rwanda, and Bill Clinton refused to get engaged as he had in Bosnia, Herzegovina. People said it was racist. Well, yeah, it was. Susan Rice was the architect of that. He said that his biggest regret in 8 years of being president was not addressing the genocide issue in Rwanda. Karen Bass. Karen's a nice person, but that's it. That's all I can say for Karen. She's not the brightest bulb in the closet. Val Demings. Now, this girl here, she was a cop. In fact, she, I think she was a police chief of big police force. Big police force in Florida. I'm just trying to think what it was. But I know she was police chief of a big state in Florida. Who else? Keisha Lance Bottoms. Keisha Lance Bottoms, she's the mayor of Atlanta. She served 2 terms city council. That's the breadth of her experience. And she's 50. Not going anywhere. Sorry. Gretchen Whitmer. I like Gretchen. But Gretchen blew it. Gretchen blew it when she tried to take on Trump and COVID. And kept lying on the president. She messed herself up. Somewhat seriously, they're vetting her. Somewhat seriously. She messed up. She messed up. That's all you can say. Tammy Baldwin. Don't know Tammy. But she's a senator from Wisconsin. I didn't know that. And she's supposedly the first openly gay person to win a seat in the Senate. She certainly won't win the presidency, especially if it comes down to black women. Oops. Let's see who else. Michelle Lujan Grissom. She was governor of New Mexico, and she is the governor of New Mexico. She served in Congress before that, though, and she's supposed to be Hispanic, but she looks white to me. And she's being vetted heavily, but they're not gonna pick her. They need some juice, and they can't get that with her. So Stacey Abrams. Stacey is toast. Mouth too big, only has state experience, no executive experience. Excuse me. Oh God, it hurts to cough. And she's championed things like voting rights and advocated for expanding health care at the state level. You know, she hasn't really done anything. Oh, Maggie Hassan. Now, this is a woman who married an Arab. Obviously, she's from New Hampshire, and she had been governor before that. Um, yeah, New Hampshire's a strange bird, boy. I don't know why we're having all this discussion today about New Hampshire, but we will. Jenna Raimondo. She served as state treasurer. She's the governor of Rhode Island, smallest state in the nation. She's not going anywhere. So, Amy Glamour. Amy said, "Pull my name. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this." In fact, she's from Minnesota, where George Floyd got killed, and she's said that she found herself struggling to explain why she had not done more to take on police misconduct as district attorney. Well, we know why. He's part of the system, girl. So anyway, just ran through all of the players that were being considered for VP by Joe Biden. Of all the ones on these 2 pages, I think the only ones who would give him some serious cover, and she is not the best, and that's Terry, what's her name? That Bradshaw. But yeah, Terry Colomeyer. It's not going to be a black woman either. So people can forget that. They can talk about black women saved Joe Biden's career, but he will not repay them, I can tell you, by choosing a black woman. Not going to do it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to ease on down the road. And thanks for tuning in. Hope I didn't bore you. It's really hard on me. Take care.